Hello everyone and welcome back to Asagao Academy Tournament Edition. With death.
We're still dying.
We're still dying, but it'll get better.
Let's hope.
Probably.
And I feel like I've had this plague for like literally 8 episodes.
Yep. It's a long-lasting plague.
To be fair, I feel like I can start getting rid of it, then you bring it home again.
It's not my fault. I work with sick people. All right, so it's the day of the tournament.
All right, let's do this. The
arcade at which the tournament was being held was much smaller than I expected. I felt like I'd find some kind of convention, but instead it was a small local arcade filled with arcade machines. Smaller rooms split off, which were probably where the individual competitions would take place throughout the day. A few people milled about the space, generally older folk in their 20s and 30s. I glanced at the agenda in my hand and made my way to one of the back rooms.
Older folks in their 20s and 30s.
Oh.
Ouch.
Dagger to the heart. When I entered the competition room, I found 2 chairs on an elevated platform, a computer and a projector sitting between them and hooked up to separate controllers. Ian sat in one of the chairs, looking bored out of his mind.
Ian.
Hey.
It's about time you showed up. I was starting to get worried that you died.
Aw, it's sweet of you to be concerned.
Is it?
Yeah.
I got into the chair next to him. A man came over to me to check my name and club affiliation. I said I was a member of the Normal Boots Club, a small surge of pride making me sit up as I said it. There were chairs lined up for people to watch us compete, and to my surprise, the entire room was soon filled. I searched the crowd to find the Normal Boots Club. There they were. Everyone but PBG. Where was he? As I stared worriedly into the crowd, a blur of movement caught my eye. Luke was sitting in a chair on the edge with the rest of the Hidden Block Club waving frantically at me. When he saw me looking, he gave me a big thumbs up. He unrolled his eyes.
Really?
Would it kill you to root for your own teammate? I giggled. Finally, the lights around us dimmed and the projector started up, showing the main menu of Dumbadoom's Revenge on screen. It was time to start. As the MC began his introduction and explained the rules of the game, Ian turned to me, a smirk on his face. Sure you're ready for this?
Yeah. You bet I am.
Ready to go? The man turned to us. Ian and I nodded. Then, 3, 2, 1, start. The game began. I immediately clicked to fill my screen with 2 more lines of blocks. Ian began working with what he had. I scanned the blocks for the pink hearts, eliminating them one by one, making combos where I could. I still wasn't advanced enough to plan tons of combos ahead of time, but I could make it much more likely for combos to happen through probability. The pinks were all but gone. Green leaves were next. Dumbadoom flipped at the top of the screen. Ian must be comboing, which meant I had a few seconds before those blocks would fall. I set up a combo on top of the screen and started eliminating the orange blocks below it. Then it happened. A 6 combo jumped out at me from the screen. My eyes crossed as I stared at it in shock. I just had to move the top block over 1 space. Then, as quickly as I saw it, it vanished. The blocks looked normal again.
You're dead.
As Ian's blocks fell upon my humble kingdom, I slid the combo into place. 2, 3, 4 combo, 5 combo, 6 combo, 7 combo, 8 combo! Ian's attack converted it into blocks and hovered above mine. I set up several more combos and waited for them to fall. 10 combo! Legendary! Dumbadoom started farting out rainbows over Ian's zone, and then... blocks. So many blocks. They didn't come in a chunk, they came in a torrential downpour, all over Ian's side, sliding from left to right and back again. Ian blinked, his hands and eyes moving frantically over the screen. I wasn't sure he had ever seen something like that before. I sure hadn't. I continued to combo while this was happening, but at this point there was no need. Ian's screen filled up. He kept trying to make combos until the very end, but game over. That was it. I won. I stared dumbfounded at the screen in front of me. Ian's mouth hung open. The room was silent. Then...
Whoa!
Yeah, Hana!
Oh, yeah.
I knew you could do it. I glanced up to see the room applauding, all of it, even the Hidden Block Club. The announcer was gaping at the screen. I've never seen a score that high. Certain I was red as a tomato, I stood to climb off the platform. Not so fast. Ian stepped in front of me, grim as always. I braced myself for his infamous sarcasm. But to my surprise, he laughed. That was a hell of a game, Hana. That's exactly what I wanted from you. He held a hand in the air, and I looked at it in confusion. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh.
I high-fived him, and he clasped my hand in his. Thanks, Hana. That was fun. Then he disappeared into the pressing crowd. I wiggled my way through all the people eager to find PBG. I looked for his head above the rest of the crowd, but I couldn't see him anywhere.
Hana!
Hana, there you are. Luke grabbed my shoulder and turned me around to face him. I jumped about a foot back, arms held up defensively. What are you doing, weirdo? Have you seen PBG? Our match is in an hour, and he still hasn't shown up.
What?
I glanced at my phone, dread sinking in my stomach. No way. He couldn't still be asleep because of last night, could he?
Thanks, Luke. I've got it covered.
I dashed away from the arcade and raced across campus. No matter what. PBG had to win his round. Thankfully, John left his door unlocked, probably assuming PBG would be leaving soon after him. I burst through the door and found PBG right where I expected him.
PBG, wake up!
I ran to the side of his bed and grabbed him, shaking him frantically. What is it?
You idiot! Your event is in 45 minutes. Get up!
What?
You can't lose Luke. You hear me? You can't.
Oh no! PBG sprang out of his bed, already fully dressed. My jaw dropped. I was prepared in case this happened. Come on, let's go. He grabbed my hand and pulled me from the room. Together we ran across campus. His legs were almost twice the size of mine, so I could barely keep up. He was practically dragging me there. Did I already miss your event?
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry. How did you do?
I won. Somehow I managed to win.
What?
Really? Hana, that's amazing.
I know. I'm really proud of myself.
You should be. We flew across the campus, out through the streets and into the mall.
Actually, I was thinking, I really like playing games like a whole lot. I didn't ever have any plans for my future or passions, really. But I think I want to work with games. I think that's what I want to do.
PBG stopped. We both panted, me doubled over. When I looked up, I realized we were at the arcade. Hana, that's great. I smiled at him.
It's thanks to you, isn't it?
No, it's thanks to you.
Whatever you say.
PBG smiled at me, and for a brief second, I felt like I was floating on air. I was so happy. He looked at me with steel in his eyes. Hana, I'm not going to lose.
What?
He clenched his fist. No matter what, I'm not going to lose to Luke. Not in this match, and not in anything else. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
There are things at stake that are important to me, so no matter what, I'm going to give it my best. Will you be there?
Of course I will.
That's all I need.
Come on, you need to get signed up.
PBG filled out his registration at the front desk, and we sprinted to the pinball area. We found Luke already playing at the machine. A woman nearby told us he was on his last leg. No! The ball fell out of his grasp, and Luke groaned. A score flashed across the screen. 1,375,200.
You have to beat that? Isn't that a lot for pinball?
It'll be tough, but I think I can do it. PBG approached the machine, stretching out his neck like a professional athlete. The machine had an alien theme to it, and it was pretty cool. Tiny little gray creatures stood in groups on its base. With a UFO, the ball could enter, a NASA spaceship, and several other space-themed features. I confused with the UFO, the ball could. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense.
I know.
But it does, because it's pinball, so you have a little UFO, and the ball goes into the UFO. Yeah. I'm on the trolley now. PBG pulled back on the crank and started up the game. I didn't have any sense of how pinball worked as a game. I guessed it had something to do with reflexes and angles, something that a person with a knack for math would find fascinating, combined with a good deal of luck. That being said, PBG was good. Really good. I watched and cheered with the crowd as he knocked the ball through various obstacles, his score slowly rising. It was odd, though. There was no place for an alien abduction. You would think with an alien theme, there'd be an abduction. PBG blew through 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls. Finally, he reached his last round, but he was still 300,000 points short. He swallowed, hand hovering over the trigger.
PBG, you can do this. I believe in you. I believe.
Surprise came over his face, and PBG turned around to look at me. He gave me a thumbs up and turned back to the machine. Then he launched the ball. I watched it roll over and into the machine, my hands pressed against my chest.
He can do this. He can do this.
But as I watched, he ignored the UFO he previously targeted for all his points. Instead, he was shooting the ball at the very top corner of the machine in a blank space. What was he doing? There wasn't any way to get points there. He waited, concentrating hard as the ball came down, hand poised at the ready. It rolled over onto the flipper, and just before it fell to the pit below, PBG launched it. It shot up into the right corner and disappeared.
What? Where?
An odd beam-like sound emitted, and the game started lighting up. Secret found! Alien abduction! 500,000 points! Rolled across the screen. My jaw dropped. PBG crossed his arms with a smile. With Luke beat, he played the last round primarily for fun before finally letting it end. 1,895,800 points. He did it. He won. I flew to him, screaming.
You won! PBG, you won!
Yeah.
I did it! I did it! I won! He picked me up and spun me around in a circle, laughing. When he set me down, he spun around to face Luke and pointed at him. Ha! You can suck it! Luke held out his hand, a solemn look on his face. What can I say? The better man won. He looked from me to PBG, beaming. I guess Hana will get what she deserves this way. Yeah, she will.
Pardon?
PBG colored and looked away. Luke laughed. Don't worry about it. You're perfect. I cocked my head in confusion, but Luke just laughed and left.
PBG, what did he...
PBG grabbed my hand and pulled me away from the arcade. We've got to tell the guys the good news. We found the Normal Boots Club in the arcade, watching Paul and Josh go head-to-head in Canal Fighter. They saw us coming.
All right.
Hana, you did it! Jared raced towards me and pulled me into a hug. Everyone else crowded around, trying to pat me on the head or give me a high five. I knew you had it in you.
Copacetic.
You set a new high score for the division. Do you realize that?
I really?
All right.
That combo rate is pretty difficult to do, so it's rare to even see it happen. The MC was stunned. Did you see his face? He mimicked the guy's face, looking like a portrait of the Scream.
You're the best.
We're really happy for you. There was a few seconds before the others realized PBG was there, too. Oh yeah, how'd it go, Peeps? PBG flipped his hair and gave a dramatic thumbs up. I did it. I beat him.
All right.
Oh, great. Yeah, good job, man. That's it. We didn't expect you to lose. After all, you're part of the Normal Boots Club. At those words, I raised a hand. Paul pointed at me. Yes, Hana? What is your question?
So, does that mean I get to join the Normal Boots Club?
What are you talking about? Get to join the Normal Boots Club. PBG slid an arm around my shoulders and pulled me towards him in a one-armed hug.
Yeah.
You've been a member forever.
Hana.
We're glad to have you, Hana. I glanced at all the members' smiling faces, except for Shane. He was standing quietly to one side. When I made eye contact with him, he sighed. I guess it won't be too bad having you around.
Yes, thank you.
The tournament continued as the rest of us hung around in the main arcade area, playing games and cheering each other on. Members peeled off one at a time for their events, Satch, then John, then Shane. The last people to leave were Continue and their three-man tag team. We watched them go, hearts in our throats. Finally, they came back, and it was time to announce who had won the tournament. The Hidden Block Club and Normal Boots Club stood around the MC, who tallied the scores in front of us. Finally, he cleared his throat. The winner of the 2015 South-Southwest tournament is...
The Normal Boots Club!
The Normal Boots Club.
I didn't see it coming. Yes.
We did it. We descended onto the stage in a swarm of happiness. The poor MC didn't know what hit him. He was surrounded by a group of cheering, mosh-pitting teenagers. He held up the trophy with one hand, PBG grabbed it, and the MC crawled out from underneath us. We would like to thank all of our friends, family, and fans for their support. We literally could not have done this without you. And we have an announcement to make. We've got a new member. Introducing Hana Mizuno. The crowd clapped politely as I walked to the front of the stage, bowing compulsively.
Hello. I'm Hana Mizuno, and I'm glad to be here.
As they cheered, I felt something heavy and soft fall over my shoulders.
Did we get our jacket?
I grabbed it, then gasped. PBG stood over me, beaming. Welcome to the Normal Boots Club, Hana.
My very own Normal Boots jacket.
Yay, she has a jacket.
Thank you all.
PBG and I stepped into a small recess by ourselves, and I could finally breathe. The two clubs were now celebrating together as if there was never a division between them. To be honest, I felt there hardly was one. The tournament was more for show than anything. It was a whirlwind of stress, but now that it was over, I was exhausted. I was prepared to look at this tournament like a distant memory, a happy, beautiful memory.
I have to say, that was unexpectedly fun.
Did you think it wouldn't be?
It's not that. I was so nervous, I thought there was no way I would make it through without throwing up.
Well, you did, and you did us proud. I blushed. I think it's about time we got out of here, though. I don't like the look on that guy's face. He gestured to one of the people who staffed the tournament, who was waiting with a broom and trash bag, looking ready to slaughter us one by one.
Whoa. Okay, right. I'll just...
Hana, I was looking for you. I should have known I'd find you with this guy. Luke patted PBG on the shoulder, who frowned at him. What's up, man? We were just about to head out. That's perfect timing then. I needed to give you something, Hana. Luke dug around in his pocket and pulled out a small book, which he opened to reveal a crisp, clean envelope.
Another letter?
If you don't mind, I think this will be the last. Not really knowing what to do, I took it.
Thank you, I guess?
He looked at me with something of a pained expression, then suddenly...
Luke?
He pulled me into a hug, his long arms completely engulfing me. I hugged him back on impulse, feeling his lean muscle through his shirt. Without waiting for Luke's okay, I tore the letter open. Whoa, Hana, wait. Oh. Hana, I know I have a lot to explain, and I hope this does everything justice. What was this? Confused, I started reading it aloud. See, I knew as soon as PBG saw you walk up to the front of the class that the poor boy was hopelessly in love with you. I watched you interact at lunch, and it slowly started to drive me crazy. He loved you, but he wasn't doing anything about it. After nothing happened at the festival, I decided to take matters into my own hands. Initially, I just wanted to be another suitor, hoping that it would spark a fire and make him hurry it up. I was trying to be super generic and cliche, comparing you to the sea and such. I know, kinda lame. But then PBG let slip that he still hadn't made a move, so I took matters into my own hands. I want to do something big and theatrical. Something truly romantic. I'm a hopeless romantic myself, after all, and in the movies, there's always an obstacle to overcome that gets the couple together. Truthfully, I didn't write those last notes. I got them from Thylight, the most romantic movie in the past 10 years.
No, it is not. They have sparkly vampires. No.
With those, I knew PBG would really come and fend for you. It was like a big, huge opera. PBG saves you from the masked caper. An amazing movie-like moment. At least, I hope it was. But since that still didn't work, I had to act like I was in love with you. It should be obvious by now that I'm not. Not that you're not great or anything, but PBG's the one for you. Hopefully this finally got homeboy in gear. Because, honestly, nothing is more important than our friendship. Please don't hate me for doing all that, but I know PBG. He was too afraid to show you his heart until he had to fight to protect you. And if I'm not mistaken, he fought pretty hard, didn't he? Yeah, I know. I'm awesome. I got your back, girl. Anyways, wishing you the best, Luke.
Wait, so...
This means you...
Go for it.
I was trying to get you two together, of course. Come on, man. You don't think I'd actually try and hurt somebody, do you? Wait, did I actually scare you? Oh, man, I'm so sorry if I did. That was not my intention at all. So you don't want to date Hana? PBG, dude, no, man, no. No offense, Hana.
None taken. In fact, thank you.
I see that look. I'm getting out of here. I think you two need to take a little bit alone. Need to talk a little bit alone. Wait, what? Wait, so the letters, you mean you didn't like Luke?
Of course not. The letters were nice, but they didn't do anything for me.
But why not?
Well, to tell the truth, it's because they didn't sound anything like you.
I said it almost without thinking, but by the time the words were out of my mouth, I was blushing furiously. That was it the whole time. That was why I wasn't happy about having an admirer. That was why I asked the letters to stop. That was why I asked PBG to help me stop them. I wanted him to be the one writing the letters this whole time. At first, I couldn't see him as anything but my best friend, the little boy I used to cheer up and save from the ever-present threat of alien invasion. He was still that little kid to me. But over time, I realized how much he changed. He didn't need me to look out for him anymore. Instead, he was the one looking out for me. I tried to convince myself that my feelings weren't romantic, that he was like a good brother to me, that he was a very special friend. Dependable, hardworking, funny, and also very, very kind. But I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't lie to myself. I thought I would be satisfied just being his friend, that I could stand by his side as long as the earth turned, and there would be no danger of losing my place. It was less risky than romance. We would definitely stick together forever. But even with the potential for a new suitor on the horizon, I couldn't. I wanted PBG. I wanted to be with him. I stared at him, hardly daring to breathe, watching for his next move. So you knew?
What?
I'm so sorry. So sorry if I ever made you uncomfortable. I really didn't want to. I've been trying to confess for a while now, but I kept feeling like maybe you didn't like me in that way. Maybe you just wanted to stick to being friends. And I couldn't bear with the thought that I would confess and you would reject me and I wouldn't feel comfortable being my friend anymore. I didn't want to make you feel like I was just your friend to date you or something, because our friendship really means a lot to me, even though I've liked you ever since we were little. Not that that was something I was ever going to tell you. But you could probably tell, and this is probably making you uncomfortable, and I'm so sorry that this is the case. And I'm very sorry that I misinterpreted your feelings. I understand that you just want to be friends. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to be really sad about it for a while, and I don't promise that I won't punch out Luke if he ever bothers you, but I can at least stand by your side for a while longer, even if it's just as your friend. I'd be happy. But
Whoa.
That was like word soup, man.
Yeah.
He stared at the ground and flushed. I'm just gonna go now. Sorry.
But why aren't we saying anything?
What? He started for the exit faster than my mind could catch up to what he said.
You mean you, like me?
But he was out of earshot. Horrified, I ran after him. He hadn't gotten far. Quickly, I ran up to him and grabbed a hold of his sleeve.
Where are you going?
He froze, not looking up or turning around.
Do you really not know after all this? PBG, I love you.
He looked at me in utter shock. You do? Why?
Stupid! Is that all you have to say?
He searched my eyes and started beaming. My gosh, you're serious.
Of course I'm serious.
He grabbed me around the waist and lifted me into the air, spinning me in circles. Hana, you love me.
I just said that.
I love you.
Don't say that. You're being so loud.
I can't help it. I'm happy. He set me down. The world spun before my eyes, and I gripped his wrist to steady myself.
You... Aww.
Aww. He kissed me. This was... In moments, my shock faded and I relaxed into him. It was warm. He pulled away from me and we looked at each other, eyes glistening, but I didn't want to stop. I grabbed the front of his shirt and pulled him down towards me again, but
All right.
it's about time.
God, Jared.
PBG and I sprang apart. She had something in her teeth.
I was just trying to headbutt him. My God.
That is the best explanation. Oh no, you can't fool me. I'd recognize the looks on your faces in the heat of battle. He winked and PBG stammered out some more excuses as the rest of the Normal Boots crew pulled up behind Jared.
All right.
Hana, did they finally manage to confess their... did they finally manage to confess their feelings? Even better, they were making out.
God.
Whoa.
Dude. I know, I was starting to think PBG would never get around to it. What's that supposed to mean?
Well,
You're a bit of a wuss. I am not. This is totally not reflective of my character. And besides, I was the one who confessed in the end. Shane glanced at me and I looked away. Hana seems to think differently. Hana?
I mean, it was kind of just a happenstance.
Hana, back me up here.
Point being, now I know.
Lame, dude. Whatever. PBG strode across to me and put his arm around me. Hana is my girlfriend now, so you guys can totally suck it.
yeah.
I got the best girl there is. Be jealous.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I glared at him.
Rude.
Is it really? He chuckled.
I'll see you around.
Anyway, I have some place to be. I'll catch you lovebirds later.
Because he loves my. Right?
With that, he headed off in the direction of Primrose House.
He's gonna go get my.
If not, I'm going to be so angry. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, we should tail him.
Yes! What? That wasn't what I was thinking.
Oh, what were you?
Nope, tailing him. Right, let's go. I cocked an eyebrow at him, but he avoided my eyes. With my hand gently in his, we followed Jared back to Primrose House. Together, we could do anything. I believed that.
We're gonna sneak around the corner and listen in on this conversation.
Best end.
Does
Wait, what?
this mean we got the best ending?
Wait, what happened?
Seriously? We didn't get to see the Maya and Jared thing? So confused.
Or are we just supposed to interpret that?
But no. Is there like an ending at the end of this?
I don't know. We'll
Because I
find
know
out.
there's like an okay ending and a best ending, and it said we got the best end, right?
Yeah, I wonder. That's what I mean. There might be something after the credits.
Maybe. Take my star clip.
That's awesome.
I don't know how I feel about this, if that is the ending. I don't like using my imagination.
I'm okay with it.
Did you see one of the programmers was Creeps McPasta?
Yeah.
Creeps
Yeah,
McPasta.
right there.
There's in space. I want to know what's at the end of this.
Right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, credits. Give me my ending.
That might be it.
No.
I'm okay with it
No.
actually. Because I think it's safe to assume that Maya and Jared got... Oh, there we go. There we go. PBG and I crept silently to the door of my dorm room, pressing our ears against it. Whatever Maya and Jared were up to, we wanted to catch them in the act. They were giggling like maniacs, absolutely giddy out of their minds. I traded looks with PBG, who nodded at me and winked. I pulled out my key and slowly, ever so slowly, fitted into the lock. Thankfully, Maya let out a huge laugh just as I did so, and so the sound of the keys in the lock seemed to go unnoticed. PBG leaned towards me, whispering into my ear.
I was just thinking that.
I hope we don't find them in a compromising situation. He leaned back, eyes gleaming. I elbowed him in the side, my face aflame.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
I flung open the door, and PBG and I ran into the room.
What?
This is incredible.
This is not what I expected.
No. Okay.
All right, what's going on here?
Maya and Jared looked up at us in shock. We stared back. Are they playing Dungeons and Dragons? Yes. Small dice lay on the floor in front of them, along with several sheets of paper and tiny action figures that, as I looked closer, resembled them.
What?
I'm ruined. Maya slung an arm around Jared's shoulders, laughing merrily.
Like, no, you're not, you old coot. Hana's not going to do anything. Actually, do you guys want to join our campaign? I'm in a bit of a scrap, and I could really use a cleric to help.
And that was how Maya and Jared, somehow, started dating.
That was incredible.
All right, that was worth it.
See, you would have never gotten that sweet imagery if you let your brain go there.
Yeah, it's true. But everything worked out in the end.
Yeah, I'm glad we left Jared.
Yeah, that worked out. I was a little sad about that at the time, but I think that scene alone was worth it. Anyway, that has been Asagao Academy. We had a lot of fun. Cheese edition.
I had to end it with that. I hope you know.
Yeah, I know.
The bit went for how many episodes? Did I get that?
All of them.
Yeah. I'm pretty proud of myself. You're not, but I totally am.
Anyway.
Oh, don't anyways me.
If you enjoyed this, do please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.